Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Journal from Vertical Spread for Friday the 27th of November. My name is David and I'm also known as the Spread Doctor. As you would imagine this week, it has been a pretty quiet and uneventful end to the week on Wall Street. The markets were closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving and it was open for half a day today, with the volume traded below the average trading volume. And the main event of the week would have to be the Dow printing a new record high on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. So it was kind of like a Thanksgiving present, if you like. It closed above 30,000 for the very first time. I think you might have heard that on the news. I think President Trump also mentioned it. And not surprisingly, given how quiet it was in the market, the VIX closed down today. It closed at 2084. And as Thanksgiving was still at the forefront of the minds of many traders, they stayed away from the market for the half-day trading session. So this reading of 20.84 might not be the true reading of where volatility is. It's still above 20, but edging ever so closely to the 20 level. But we'll see next week when everyone is back at their trading desks. We'll see where the volatility level really is. In terms of trade ideas, I had no new trade ideas today. And there are now 20 days until the November contract expires, and there are 48 days for the January 21 contract to expire. And that means that in about 3 days time or so, I'll start looking for spreads to sell in the Jan 2021 contract. And that takes me nicely onto my open positions. I now have only one open position, and it's this position in PDD. All the other three positions I had for this December expiry have closed. I hit my profit target on all of them and they're all closed. So I've only got this one open position and I'll quickly go through it. So it's PDD, or PDD as I like to call it. And on this one, I sold the 120-115 put spread for a credit of $1.38. I set my profit target at 40 cents. Let's see where it closed out today. So PDD closed at 144.05. I'm short the 120 put. So my short strike is about $24 out of the money. So it's comfortably out of the money. And with about 20 days until the November contract expires, there is absolutely nothing for me to do at the moment but wait for theta decay to erode the premium in this spread. In terms of P&L, I'm going to go to my portfolio tab, and that should be the only position I have. Current P&L is about 447. I have 5 positions, and that works out about, I have five contracts, sorry. I have 5 contracts in this one, so that P&L works at about $90 per contract, positive P&L, sorry. Let's say that again. I have 5 contracts, so that works at about positive $90 for the P&L. In terms of when I'm expecting this to close, well, I'm hoping this position should close out early next week. If not, by the end of the week, it should be closed. My profit target, like I said, was 40 cents. The mid close is 48. All things being equal, unless this thing drops massively, that theta decay should bite into this. If I go back to my portfolio tab and so I have added a new column for theta. So this position has got a theta burn rate of 2 cents per day, and that's all things being equal. If this price remains static at that price and everything else remains constant, so all things being equal, the theta burn rate is 2 cents per day. And if I go back to my activity tab, I have got the mid is 48, so that would take about 4 days to burn 8 cents to arrive at my profit target. But that's all things being equal. If this thing ticks up, that theta rate could go up, the theta burn rate could go up, or it could go down. But given that it's about $20 out of the money, $24 out of the money, I think it's in a sweet spot and nothing needs to be done. So no action required on this one. Moving on to my watch list for today, I've got quite a few items. APPN, MSTR, SBE, CRON, PDD, EBS. And as with all my watch list items, the one thing they all have in common is they have high implied volatility and they have no earnings announcement due over the next option expiry cycle. So I'm going to quickly go through them one by one. APNN being the first one. Actually, it's APPN. APPN has implied volatility of 100%. Appian Corporation, NASDAQ. I don't know what they do, but one would have to look into it further before putting on a position. Liquidity is about average, not massively liquid. The second one is MSTR. MSTR, a $270 stock, MicroStrategy Inc. Implied volatility about 75, and this thing has no liquidity, 1 star. I suspect the spread on this thing would be very wide. Let me just check. If I go to my trade tab, not looking at December, look at January. Yeah, the spread is wide. At the money, 1730 to 2230, 47 to 52. But then it was a quiet day, so maybe the market makers just widened their spreads to make sure they didn't get hit on some silly price with someone taking advantage of the Thanksgiving holiday. We shall see next week where this thing lands. So that's MSTR. SBE was the next one. SBE, a $37 stock, energy sector, IV58, and this one is fairly liquid. The next one is excuse me, CRON, CRON, $8 stock, implied volatility 51, but very liquid, and it has a lot of strikes, even though it's a low priced stock. If I go back to my trading tab, where's my trading tab here? If I look at the January contract, you can see it's trading at $8, the 8.5. This spread isn't tight at all. I think I might have looked at this is December. Let's go to January. This is January. Yeah, this is a bit much tighter. So the 8s, you got 73.96, 56, 57, 31, 38. It's very tight, only a cent wide. However, the out of the money ones here are not tight at all. 5 cents 26. And yet again, because of the markets closed yesterday and a half day today, this might not be a true reading, because market makers don't want to come in on Monday and find out their algorithms have been hit by some guy who took advantage of the low liquidity and bought a boatload of options. So they tend to widen their spreads. So this could be wider than the normal spread when the markets are fully open. So that's CRON, PDD we know about because there's a position in it. PDD $144 stock, IV 54, and it's fairly liquid, 3 stars. And the final one is EBS. $82 stock, IV 65. This one was on my watch list before the November window closed. I looked into it, but I think I decided against it either because the spreads were too wide, or yeah, it's a massive spread. But then again, markets, they might have widened their spreads due to the holiday. 390 to 550, 460 to 6. Or I'm not sure if it has been trading for less than a year. I tend to filter out any company that floated fairly recently, because that volatility is usually elevated until the price settles down at a level. And that's the last one on my watch list for today. And that brings me to the end of my journal. The main highlight is that my window of opportunity for selling spreads in the Jan 2021 expiry will open next week. So be on the lookout for alerts for new trade ideas. I hope you enjoyed listening to my journal. You can leave me any questions or comments below, and I shall try to respond to them. Have a great weekend and hope you had a lovely Thanksgiving. See you next week. Goodbye.